right, what is up, everybody, and welcome into this week's edition of the South Florida Comedy Calendar. We're coming to you live right here from the Black Studio in South Miami at the Community Newspapers. My name is Sebastian Alvarez. I am your host, as I am every single week, guys, and I'm joined by my co-host here, Art Roche. How you doing, Art Roche?
I'm doing pretty well, Sebby. Last week was a really good week of comedy, but I'm very happy because a friend of mine, a friend of the show, Brad Steele, gave me a present from one of my heroes in comedy, Bill Cosby's, one of his original CDs. And if you do go out and buy this album, because, you know, I haven't heard anything about him in the last couple of years, but, you know, he's a hero for most of us comedians. Mm-hmm. Track number 10 on this one is called My Pet Rhinoceros, which apparently is where he found all that ground up rhinoceros horn that he used to mix drinks with. So it's really, really interesting, really good album. I'm glad he gave it to me. It's the best comedy present I've gotten since I started doing comedy. So
big shout out to Brad Steele. You know what Brad Steele gets? Brad Steele gets that you got to interact with your friends' posts. Yeah. I always love Brad because he's always commenting. He's always liking. For a big shout out to Brad Steele, the ideal comedy calendar fan. If you go to any comedy calendar post, you may see a Brad Steele comment, and it's always witty and it's always well thought out. So big shout out to Brad Steele. And big shout out to Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Bill Cosby as well. Also, Art Roche today brought to you by Chris DiStefano, in case you didn't know, guys. He is sponsored by Chris DiStefano today, in case you didn't know. That's awesome. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Art. But you may hear a slight giggle in the background, and that's not our producer, Rayshaw, and it's definitely not Julian, our editor. No, that is our guest of the week, guys, and I'm really, really excited to have her on because she produces some of the best shows around South Florida, all the way from Miami to Boca and Norther and Souther, both of those spots. This girl's everywhere. I want you guys to put your hands together right now in the studio audience for the very funny Shannon Lee.
Hey! Thank you guys for having me. I'm glad to be here. Thank you. I'm glad to be chatting up. I'm actually really a big fan of that Bill Cosby album myself. Yeah, I met Bill one time.
Yeah?
I did. I don't remember. No, I don't remember much. I don't remember much of it, but I met him.
Strong drinks.
Yeah, bucked up. Bucked up.
I'm very thankful that you're on the show, and thank you for dressing up for us. So
got my looks on, got my Fresh Prince.
Shannon looks like she's about to come out of a 90s after school special about doing drugs. And she's like the kid that's like, guys, we shouldn't do drugs. The counselor's right.
Oh my god. I was definitely influenced by Dare for some time.
Nice.
I was. Nice. You know, I look like the kind of kid that was influenced by
Dare. Yeah. See, you helped do the presentation at the school. You were one of the kids that acted.
That's crazy because I was influenced by Double Dog Dare.
And that's why Art is the way he is now.
That's why you're wearing that shirt.
Yeah. Exactly. He reps Chris DiStefano.
Well, I got it from P. Diddy's closet, so whatever.
Oh, he's a fan as well. That's cool. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
He a fan.
When you hit the trifecta, Cosby, Diddy, Drake.
And Drake. Wow.
All right. We can end the episode right here.
Michael Jackson.
No, there we go.
And I look like Michael Jackson's dream.
Mount Rushmore has been achieved, guys. We're not even 4 minutes into this episode, guys. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You know it's going to be a banger. But quickly, guys, I want to recap before we get into this week what happened last week, because we had a jam-packed week of some really, really awesome locals performing at the Improvs and around. First off, I want to start off with myself. I said it at the end of last week's shows, I believe, but I'm going to be hosting for the very funny Nick Colletti, guys. Or I was hosting for him, and I did. Guys, it was really, honestly, a great time because it was not only myself, but Ricky Cruz, he featured, and then Nick. The crowd was awesome from the jump. As a host, it's easy when the crowd is already laughing at the beginning. It's usually the host's job to get everyone going, but he brought a fantastic crowd, man. Hanging out with him in the back, he was super cool. Big shout out to Nick and the whole crew that was out there at the Dania Beach Improv taking care of us. But Dan, actually, Dart Vision, who we were talking about last week, was out there getting pictures and photos of the entire affair. He got pictures of everybody, and he actually put together a little B-roll clip of the night. So we're going to recap for you guys. If you missed the night at Nick Colletti's headlining event at the Dania Beach Improv, you're going to get a taste of it right now.
Mr. Nick Colletti.
Nick Colletti.
Nick Colletti. There's Nick Colletti.
Got Nick Colletti.
The Nick Colletti Show.
And I probably so that I bet so where we collect so fuck yeah.
Keep doing that. Keep tight. Hell yeah, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. And you know, like, take it out, man. Oh, excuse me. What I did was
I steered your life a fucking building. They got $9 plane tickets. And I go, what did you say? And she said, I didn't say anything. And I'm like, you do it too.
There you go, guys. Honestly, Dan did a fantastic job on that clip, bro. Every time we give Dan a bit of a challenge, he puts together something that looks really, really cool, guys. So definitely, if you ever need somebody who can put something together like that, you can reach out to Dark Vision on Instagram. He is available for booking, guys. The man, the myth, the legend himself. And honestly, huge shout out to Nick Colletti for letting us take pictures and put together that great reel of him. So big shout out. What a good night. Moving on though to Thursday of last week at the Miami Improv, though, we had a sold out crazy show. Yeah. I wasn't there obviously because I was over at Dania with Nick, but Art, you were there. What was going down at the Improv last week on Thursday?
Big shout out to Ismo, Finnish comedian. The guy's been on a world tour. He's been selling out nonstop. I mean, he sold out midweek at the Improv. But my big takeaway was Brian Miller, his opener. They basically was a two-man show. Brian went up, I think he did about half an hour to 45, and then Ismo came on and did about 75 minutes to 80 minutes. So yeah, it was a long show. There was multiple applause breaks. I was outside actually, and I heard the kind of room blow up. I thought the show ended, and Brian tells me no, he's gonna get a lot more of those. So big shout out there. It's at Funny Brian Miller on IG. I definitely recommend you hit him up. He's from Minnesota. Look forward to seeing him out there. So good work. On Friday at the Miami Improv, we had Jay Moreno, which we've been shouting out, a guest of the show. Really good show, really amazing. He had a surprise comedian come up, Adrian Hernandez, friend of ours, who went up and did a really amazing job. And shout out Dean Rashady and Hennessy Williams also, who were featured for the night. Really good job. I mean, the show was amazing. It's what Jay promised. He's actually on the 21st of this month. He'll be in San Antonio, Texas, killing it over there. So big shout out to Jay, man. Can't wait to see him do it again.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Also, on Saturday, we had a matinee show at the Miami Improv, guys, that was really fantastic. It was the Ellie and Friends show, guys. And, man, everybody who went up on that show, Vladdy, Oscar Diaz, everyone who went up did not only a fantastic job, but the crowd there was... The way that Ellie described it when she was on our show, that she was like those Saturday matinee crowds, everyone comes out ready to party, everyone comes out ready to kind of like kick off their Saturday with something fun. You really felt that at the Improv on Saturday for that Ellie show. She did time at the beginning, she did time at the end. She freaking destroyed it with that like host lining kind of position. Absolutely killed it, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. For sure there will be another one happening. Maybe it'll be at Dania, maybe it'll be in Miami, but whenever it does go down, we're gonna let you guys know about it, and we're gonna let you guys know. I was out there selling merch first, slinging merch. People were buying merch. It was awesome. It was fantastic.
Well, I'm happy to hear, and big shout out Ellie, man, for doing that. You know, he came on, she promoted it. Glad to see her that she did a good job, and I'm glad that she sold some merch. That's good money in her pocket, you know.
Hey, it was fantastic.
Also, the rest of that Saturday, we had two shows after Ellie, which was the English shows for Francisco Ramos. You know, the guy's a killer. He's been killing it here. He's a Venezuelan comedian, and he's just been killing it, man, in English and Spanish. On Friday, él tuvo el show en español el viernes, y yo estuve ahí con ellos. Tuvo tres comediantes con él, Abelardo, Bruno B. y Jefferson Guevara, que son comediantes latinos que están acabando con la escena ahora de comedia. Los conocí, sacamos fotos, yo también vendí la mercancía para Francisco Ramos, entonces la semana que viene voy a estar representando a él, que creo que tú no entendiste, que es rico, vamos a ver. Pero fue súper chévere Francisco, y él tuvo también con Justin en varios podcasts, entonces vamos a ver los episodios que van a salir de eso.
Very cool. I'm also looking forward to that episode.
I caught every word of that.
Shannon was locked in, guys. I don't know if you saw that. But I like how Art also this time didn't even preface anything. He just went raw straight in. Like no foreplay with the switch up of the language.
Nah, bro.
You just gave it to him.
Gotta do it. Gotta spit on that thing sometimes.
You didn't. That's what I'm saying.
I want to know who giggled in the back. Was that Julian or Ray?
It was definitely Julian.
Okay.
It sounded like Ray, but it was Julian, which is kind of his thing, I guess. But yeah, guys, that was last week at the Improvs and around South Florida comedy. Going into this week, though, I'm actually really looking forward to our Wednesday show at the Miami Improv, guys. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Patrick Warburton coming through, man. And if you don't know him by name, you'll know him by face. You've seen him everywhere. He is also Joe from Family Guy. Obviously, he is one of the most decorated voice actors of our generation. Really, really funny comedic actor, and I'm looking forward to seeing his stand-up. I don't think I've ever seen him do specific stand-up, but, I mean, you can catch him from things all the way back to Seinfeld. He was on Seinfeld, you know what I mean? And was honestly hilarious on Seinfeld, too. Played him a fantastic character. But regardless of that, we also have one of our boys and friend of the show and former guest of the shows, Ben Smith. He's going to be hosting that show on Wednesday at the Miami Improv. So really, really looking forward to that. I know Ben was really excited for the show just to be there working. So now that he gets to host, it's even cooler. So
No, and shout out Ben letting us know with enough time to be able to add it to the clip.
Mel told me.
Oh, Mel told you?
Yeah.
Well, not shout out Ben. Ben, do a better job, man. Ben, let us know so we can shout you out.
No. But yeah, big shout out to Ben for hosting that thing, man. It's going to be great. We're going to maybe see if we can get Dan out there to take some pictures too. Maybe get some pictures of Patrick Warburton at his show. That would be great. Moving on though to Thursday at the Miami Improv at 8 p.m. We got a cool show that just popped on to the calendar, guys, and we need you to go out and support because it is Luis Diaz, guys, headlining for the Have Nots comedy. But it's not just any headlining set. He's also going to be filming his special. He's going to be filming his 30-minute special.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering, because I mean, it's true. Luis Diaz, an amazing brand of comedy down here in South Florida. Have Nots, an amazing brand of comedy down here. They're working together, so I knew it was gonna be something special. So, what else you got? I mean, the special. He's filming. What else?
Well, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a great lineup. Also, on top of the fact that it is going to be Luis headlining. I believe they have Daniel Delfino, Sergio Mendez. They got a few other really, really good comics that are gonna be on that lineup, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. It's gonna be there on Thursday, and Luis is gonna be bringing his best stuff. So if you're a fan of Luis Diaz or you like any of his content online, or if you want to come and see what Luis Diaz has to offer, this is the perfect time because he's going to be executing some of his best new material, his best stuff. He's going to be probably putting it together for something that is really, really fun and is going to be great to experience. So if you want to go out there on Thursday, guys, that is at the Miami Improv at 8 p.m., guys. Do not miss it, Thursday, March 20th.
And I love that, real quick, I love that when he was on, he kind of alluded to something. He didn't actually say that he was going to be filming, but we asked him about looking ahead, and I guess this was coming together because he kind of alluded to something like this. So he was talking about doing a bunch of new material in preparation for something.
Right.
So it makes sense that this would be it.
There you go. And honestly, great partnership because Have Nots, the filming quality that they've been putting out recently is fantastic. Some of the best clips that I have on my page are Have Not clips that are posted and collabed with Have Nots themselves. So big shout out to those guys for doing the most for South Florida comedy, including getting guys their specials filmed, which is super, super cool, and not easy to do either. So Godspeed, y'all. Godspeed. Moving on though to Friday up north, we have Legendary Laughs hosted by, that's right, you guessed it, yours truly, Shannon Laleem.
Hey.
Shannon, tell us a little bit about this room. I've never done it. What is it like, and who do you got going out there for the show?
Yeah, so I've got this little bar show I've been running over the last few months. This is going to be our 5th show there. The last 4 have sold out, every seat filled out, packed in, about 90 people or so we get in there. It's always a Friday or Saturday night. We've had a bunch of different comics come up. Allie's been up to that show, but this month is going to be it's going to be Grace Kelly. She's been on the pod, friend of the pod here.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Josh Brack. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah.
He's a Broward guy. It's going to be Brian G.
Nice.
Oh, hilarious.
Brian G. and Lonnie Cox. Yeah, and me and Ryan Panucci put this together.
It's a great lineup.
So, yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. It's nothing much else to do in Plantation besides Legendary Laughs. So everybody looks forward to it. It packs out. We get a lot of returning people, which is great, and a lot of new faces too.
Well,
So
man, to get
Nice.
90 people, that's a feat.
oh yeah,
What time does it start?
it starts at 8.
8?
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I know you've been doing it for a couple of weeks now. You said 5 weeks?
This is gonna be our 5th month. We do it
fifth month.
monthly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, monthly. Yeah.
So it's a monthly show. Okay. Yeah, because I say I haven't even been to the room yet, so definitely for next month's, I'll definitely make sure to get up there and say what's up and
For sure.
get some pictures and stuff. I love seeing new rooms, and you guys are packing it out. And Josh, Panucci, you, like, these are all guys that do great work up in Broward, so I know it's going to be good stuff.
Oh, yeah. So that one's a nice one because most of what I do is up in the Boca area. So being able to tie in some of the Miami folks having
So Plantation is south.
That's my that's south for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I love that. I love to hear that. Moving on though to Friday and Saturday, guys, over at the Miami Improv, we have Steve Trevino, who's going to be headlining this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to this. I love seeing Steve come through. He always sells out, so if you want tickets, guys, get your tickets right now because it's going to be sold out. It's going to be a crazy weekend. One of the things that I remember so distinctly is that before the shows, last time he was here, they were like sold out shows. He got his like 5 or 6-year-old son. He came out and like sang, I don't know if it was the national anthem or like America, the free. He sang some very American song, and it was awesome. Like his son's confidence was incredible in front of a crowd of 300 people. You can tell he does it at every show that he goes to. But I'm not sure if he's bringing the fam this time. Last time he brought the whole family to Miami to, like, I guess just be there for the weekend and enjoy Miami. But this time, I mean, hopefully, I'd like to see if his son got better. He's a little bit older. Is he more of a showman? I don't know, but that is really kind of like a microcosm of Steve's vibe. He's very family friendly, like super fun. Like,
is it full clean comedy?
I'm not sure if it's full clean comedy, but it's definitely it's definitely not like raunchy. He's not like a dark comedian. You know what I mean? It's all really fun. It's all good laughs and he's super popular, guys. So that's definitely one thing that I will say is just get your tickets now if you have any inclination of wanting to go see him, because that show will more than likely be sold out by the time Friday and Saturday do roll around. Moving on though to Saturday now, up at the Fort Lauderdale Improv, guys, actually, because that is what the official name is now. I think I've already called it Dania like twice during this show. Yeah. But that's all right. It doesn't matter because it was even weird for us being up there and seeing Fort Lauderdale on that backdrop, but it'll grow on you. It'll grow on you. You know what I mean? I actually really like the rebrand. I like the new name, the Fort Lauderdale Improv. I think it makes way more sense. I think more people can identify with Fort Lauderdale, and I think it's going to be a really cool kind of shift there. But happening over at the Fort Lauderdale Improv at 4 p.m., we got another matinee show happening, and that is going to be the Have-Nots in Dania Beach, guys. Rodney Badger is coming back, guys. Obviously, we've said it before on this show, the incredible return of Rodney once again, because he is living now in the Bahamas. So anytime we get Rodney back here in the States on American soil, we love putting him on a stage and giving him a microphone. You got to see what's up.
Well, and this show will actually be, he's going to be running the whole thing. Don P will not be there for the show.
Oh, really?
He's going to be out of town, unfortunately.
Oh.
So Rodney will be running the whole thing. So he's back in town to substitute teach, keep the kids in line. So it's going to be a good time. And big shout out, Brian G will be on the show.
Yeah.
So Drew Illa will be on the show. And Clyde Gordon. So, I mean, he literally brought out the best of the best to represent Fort Lauderdale, and then surprise, I'll be up there trying to do a little surprise guest spot. So definitely show up early. Make sure you're there. It's a 4 p.m. show.
Yeah.
So we got to get people out there nice and early. But I'm excited to see Rodney, and I'm excited to see all these guys together. It's going to be a good time.
I love that. I love Art ruining the surprise of his surprise.
Yeah.
That's
I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting it.
You're the DEI hire.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is,
true.
I'm bringing their favorite lip gloss. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay?
That's good. That's good for you, Art. He has so many lip glosses. It's crazy. Like so many different lip gly. What's plural lip gloss?
I'm not sure.
Do you really? My lip gloss is hot. My lip gloss be popping.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm standing at Art's Locker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, many people don't know this about me, but my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Also.
Yeah. No, I've heard that about you.
Yeah.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
Those closest to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway. Looking ahead, though, to not this coming week, but the following Wednesday is going to be the New Faces of Comedy. And we want to shout it out a little bit earlier this month so that we can give anybody who is a comic who wants to sign up ample time to still reach out to newfacesfl@gmail.com to sign up for this show, because we want this month's show to be an absolute banger. Dan is bringing a a whole setup that is going to be fantastic for filming. He's going to be bringing the best cameras. If you guys come out and we pack this thing out, we're going to get some of the best clips that we've gotten all year. So we really, really want everybody who is a comic, who's thought maybe it's good, maybe I don't know, do I want to go? Come out, sign up, guys, and bring out the people. We are handing out, if you want tickets to promote yourselves for the New Faces show, we have extra tickets that you can write in your name, the date of the show, and all the information. And at that point, you can take that and go hand it out to all your friends, all your family, so that they can have a little something to remember when the show is and have something they can turn in at the door to get in and be people provided for you guys. But that is really, really what we're trying to push this New Faces for, guys. We want it packed out. It's going to be an amazing, amazing show if we all do the right thing and sign up.
And promote it, yeah.
And promote it.
Well, and a big shout out to a lot of the new followers that I've kind of met at the Improv. They've been asking about, like, okay, when's like a New Faces at the Improv happening? This is the show. All you have to do is show up and say comedy calendar at the door. You're in for free. You don't have to worry about it. There's no tickets for those shows. And we'll take care of you. And of course, if you do come, say comedy calendar, make sure you say hi to Sebi and I. We'll take care of you.
100%. Absolutely. Shannon, have you done the New Faces before?
I have done the one at the Palm Beach Improv. So Palm Beach Improv was my home club when I started. So I did that 3 times. And haven't done a New Faces since that shut down. So it's been a while.
So who bombed so hard that the building fell apart? What happened there?
It was a very cool club. I'm excited. There's word that we're gonna have a new one very soon.
Yeah. In I believe it's Wellington.
Yeah, Wellington. Yeah. I think we're still gonna call it the Palm Beach Improv. Kind of like Fort Lauderdale thing.
What the hell's Wellington?
Yeah, well, it's still, I was going to say, I think it's still the Palm Beach Improv while it's been at the Kravis Center.
Yeah.
Still called the Palm Beach Improv. It's still all the same. So that's super dope. And I'm actually also looking forward to whenever that West Palm Beach Improv opens again, because that's just more opportunities to not only promote right here on the comedy calendar some amazing headliners that'll be coming through, but also more opportunities to go out there and watch some really, really cool headliners and giving South Florida just that third focal point that's a little bit further north for you guys, so you don't have to be friggin' trekking it around.
Well, it also makes us more attractive to those national tours or like national headliners where it's like,
Right.
well, I can get down to South Florida and hit at least 2 of the 3, or, it makes like a whole trip worth it,
Sure. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, guys, absolutely. If you are interested, again, for signing up for the New Faces, reach out to newfacesfl@gmail.com. Moving on, though, to Thursday next week at the Improv. This is a show that we are really going to be pushing here, guys, because it's one of our local favorites, guys. Nick Souffrant, Nick Ridiculous. He's going to be coming through and doing a headlining set at the Miami Improv, guys, 8 p.m. on Thursday. That is on the 27th of March. You want to see this. This is... Nick has blown up on social media with the Mr. Bench Your Girl whole thing. He's got merch. He's got, viral videos. It's really been super cool to see just kind of how people have gravitated around that whole movement and that whole trend that he's created. So really, really dope. And it's going to be awesome to see kind of the show that he's going to be putting out now on Thursday at the Miami Improv. Definitely get your tickets early, guys, though. Please get your tickets early, because this is going to probably be close to sold out because it's only one show. So he's going to be putting all his promotion toward this show. There's going to be a bunch of people coming that are going to be his peeps. So you're going to want to get your tickets ahead of time, because you never know how quickly it sells out. So definitely get your tickets now.
No, and guarantee some of the best guest and featured spots on that show are going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. And just, again, big shout out to him for getting that headlining gig. You see this last couple of weeks, a ton of the, I call them local legends, just really getting those at-bats at the Miami Improv at the biggest kind of level. And Nick is one of those guys I know for a fact he's got amazing production teams, production work on all his shows, all his videos. So I know he's going to have cameras out there. I know it's going to be a really, really good setup. And like I said, he's got a ton of I think 2 or 3 shows ago, we were kind of hanging out with him, and he's the kind of guy that he doesn't speak a lot, but when he says stuff, it's pretty deep, and he gave me a lot of background info, stuff he's been doing there, and why he worked so hard on the back end to produce what he's doing. So big shout out to him. Nothing but Godspeed, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that show. And again, guys, you can get tickets for that on MiamiImprov.com. Moving on, though, we are going to take a few steps back to Tuesday, March 25th at the Miami Improv as a look ahead, guys, because that is going to be the focal point of the next portion of this interview and this show, guys. We are going to be looking ahead to the Riff Roulette happening over at the Miami Improv, guys. I'm so excited for this show. I couldn't be happier that we got this all set up and ready to go at the Miami Improv, and it's approaching faster than you could imagine. So you guys definitely want to go right now and get your tickets because tickets are selling fast. So you want to go ahead right now, get your tickets. If you use code RIFF, it is actually $5 off, RIFF. You put that in on the promo code tab when you're checking out at MiamiImprov.com and you hit apply promo code. Should take $5 off for you. That's all for you guys, our Comedy Calendar fans, everybody. And the reason why I'm so excited for this show, the reason why I'm really looking forward to it is not only because I will be on the show, but also we are going to be working with the one, the only, Shannon Laleem. You are also a part of the team that is putting together the Riff Roulette at the Miami Improv.
Yeah, so me, Eric Graff, and Casey Graves, we're putting this together. We've been doing this up at the Sadman Comedy Cafe. I know you came up and did
Fantastic
a show up
show.
there. And those have been a lot of fun. Essentially, it's a little bit different than your typical stand-up comedy show because the idea is that the audience provides suggestions. They fill out a suggestion form of different topics, suggestions of people, places, things. It could be a confession. It could be a question. So a bunch of just random stuff. It's kind of out there. It's a flex kind of fun show. I think the Miami crowd will love that. I think that's really the vibe down
Do
here.
you guys censor any of it? Like, will people write in? or-
Yeah, we
I've
do.
seen wild
yeah.
stuff. I've seen wild stuff come up on the board. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, wild stuff has came up on the board. It has. It's sometimes it's hard to censor everything. We have certain things that we look for specifically to censor.
Yeah.
So some things might filter in that you're like, oh, I didn't think maybe someone would put that. Or we'll change like one word of a question.
Gotcha.
So,
To be a little
so
friendly.
I will say this. I think during my set at Riff Roulette, I think my first suggestion was black people.
Yeah.
That was just right off the rip. First suggestion was black people.
Yeah.
Then halfway through my set, I get
Love them, by the way. Just
yeah,
for the record.
which was what I
Love
said
'em.
on
Yeah.
stage as well. Which is what I said on stage as well. Is what I said on stage. But
Let's see the clip.
I have it. I have it on my phone. I'll play it right now. I'll send it to Rachel. But in the middle of my set, it was just Arabs. That was the only thing that came. The word Arabs. Went with that. And then I finally got to the end of my set, and I was like, I'll just do one more suggestion,
Yeah.
just for the road, guys. Let's see what it is. And I hit it, and it was Indian people are cheap.
Oh, nice.
So as much censoring that is done at the Riff Roulette,
Yeah.
you still get some fun suggestions.
It's so good. It's so good.
They'll still slip through the cracks.
There's nice things to say about those people.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, no, I definitely have gotten some kind of crazy topics before. But it's fun because a lot of it is like audience driven, and so
Yeah.
it's like the audience is like waiting for their topic to come up. And yeah, sometimes we've like changed it. Like I think recently we changed some of the like is whatever black this to is bald guy this. We changed a bunch of them to bald guy, which then became really funny because we changed like anything that was black guy to bald guy.
Nice.
In the suggestions, but we do, yeah, we retract some things, of course, and but it's fun because the audience like is giving us crazy things sometimes, like confessions of like
Crimes.
they had sex with their girlfriend's mom.
Jeez.
Like I got that at
Like
my
the body's on
last
7th Ave, you know, like what?
Huh?
No, the reason I asked that question is because like I've seen a lot of shows where they try to get audience participation. Number one is like you guys get audiences there, so that's number one part. And then to get them to actually participate and then do something that actually adds and is actually helpful to the show is difficult to do. Seeing other people trying to do this, and you guys seem to come up with some good stuff. And like the clips I've seen coming out of it, and even like every comedian I talked to that did it is like, man, it was so much fun. I had a great time. I wasn't worried about it at all. I could go as fast as I want or as slow as I want. And yeah, I mean, sounds really dope. And you haven't invited me yet, but whatever. I'm just saying. Just to put it on the record.
I know you mentioned that. I saw the clip on
Oh,
last
okay.
one.
Oh, you watching?
Yeah, I saw the clip. It's been a lot of fun. I think it's like nice to kind of do a little bit of a flex thing, and especially like in Palm Beach, we're not known for being as crowd worky or as improv-y. It's these are my jokes.
Yeah.
This is my joke. And so I think that that's a good challenge that we've also kind of brought to the Palm Beach area, because most of those people haven't really dipped as much into crowd work as maybe you're used to down in the Miami scene. So it gives people that opportunity to do that. We have a lot of new faces on that sometimes when we're up at the Sad Man's Comedy Cafe. We've brought in some Miami folks. So it's been a whole little mix of people, and I'm excited for this lineup. Actually, we've got Sebi, of course. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Eric Graff. It's going to be Casey Graves, Daniela Delfino, another friend of the pod here. Sergio Mendez, we've mentioned him already. And then it's also going to be Jeff Dolezal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. That's dope.
Jeff Dolezal, special guest, secret special
Yo,
guest.
that's
We're breaking news all day today.
Yeah, all the secrets. All the secrets of Miami comedy. Yeah, so Jeff Dolezal is going to be back in town. He was part of the Dirty Talk comedy tour, the Triple F podcast, the Good Girls Studio group. They all moved out to Austin. So he's coming back in town for a family wedding, and we were luckily able to snag him for the night. So that's going to be fun too, because Jeff's a real fun time.
No, yeah, he's super funny, and I feel like he's like built for that kind of environment where it's just like just throw stuff at him, he's gonna run with it.
He's
That's
gonna
super
crush.
Cool. That's super.
It's
cool.
gonna be a lot of fun, I think. And also you guys have all done the show.
Yeah.
So Sebi, Sergio, and Daniela, they've all been on the show before, so they already kind of know the pace. They already know kind of what to expect on the show. So I think that we'll be like smooth sailing and riffing and riding and hopefully having a wild time, because it's also spring break, baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're getting those drinks. We're getting
loose.
Yeah.
2 drink minimum. Nah. We're going more than 2 drinks. Let's
Tonight's
go.
4.
Well, and I love that you guys you're stacking the deck, right? You're getting the best of the best of the people that have shown up and done their thing. It's gonna be a great night. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a Tuesday night, so definitely the push to get people out on that day is gonna be huge. So anyone listening in, make sure you got coupon codes in. Go to MiamiImprov.com, buy these tickets up. Anyone who's there that day, I mean, look, you're one of our favorites, right? Anyone that's there that comes see the show that day, you're gonna be treated. I'm gonna be sitting you guys because you won't be working that day. You'll be in the back.
Yep.
So we'll make sure we take extra good care of you guys. And this is a show we want to see. I mean, God willing, man, every month at the Improv would be amazing to see this kind of variety show, this kind of thing that can bring up variety of comedies, of comedians. I mean, having all these different topics. And what I love about it is the clips.
Yeah.
So much good material comes out of it that you're not gonna be worried about burning. Because it's gonna riff on something.
Some of it is burnable, but the other cool part is that some of it leads to material.
Yeah.
And so I've had jokes, and Eric and Casey and Daniela Delfino, like some of these comics that have done the show, I see them then performing and doing something that they did on the Riff show. So sometimes it gives you an idea, and I've actually used that quite a bit because now we've done like around 11 or so of those shows, if not more. So it's like all these suggestions pull in, and it brings that real comedy, right? Which is, I feel like what I really like is like the truth, the real, the raw, the organic.
It comes out of
and that always becomes the best stuff.
Well, speaking of, if I can pivot a little bit, speaking of juju and energy, I think you're the perfect guest on the show to ask, why didn't the Swifties help Patrick Mahomes win the Super Bowl? What do you think went off? What could the Swifties have done more or better?
This is going to be like kind of hard and maybe divisive because I know this is a Miami-based podcast, okay? But I am from Buffalo, New York. I may be a Swiftie. I may be a Swiftie, but
can't be a fan of it.
First things first. We're Buffalo Bills, baby. We hate Patrick Mahomes. We hate Patrick Mahomes is the Brady of our generation. If you don't hate Patrick Mahomes, you probably live in Kansas City, and you have nothing else better to do with your life. And that comes from somebody like me that lived in Buffalo, New York.
That's a solid point, and I will say that I hate Buffalo. I hate Josh Allen.
Oh no,
Hate
not
him.
Josh Allen.
Hate him.
Well,
I've definitely wished for ACLs to be blown out on that man on more than one occasion.
Not MVP Josh Allen.
He had a great season, and he actually did carry my fantasy team this year. So that was very nice of him, though. That was very nice of him. Good for him. And the Dolphins did suck, so it didn't really matter. They were gonna get their ass beaten by you guys anyway. But
I'm gonna double down and say
in a long history,
I'm gonna double down and say I hate all American sports. Football for life, FIFA.
All right, that's cool.
Except
That's
for
irrelevant.
women's college basketball. I am a big fan of women's college basketball.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the two most irrelevant things.
Yo, your girl got cheated on.
What?
Yeah, Cavender. That she's with Carson Beck.
And you didn't text me immediately?
I didn't text you. No. It was all over the news. I don't know how you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what happened? We had
Apparently her restraining order also applies to all.
No, but what really happened was the University of Miami's new quarterback, Carson Beck, he's a transfer from Georgia. So he's like a Southern boy, and he just came to Miami for the first time. He was with like Hannah Cavender, I think, and they were living in Miami. Within like a week or two, they had all their cars broken into and were like, like a Lamborghini stolen from their driveway. And then like 2 weeks later, he was caught cheating with a Latina.
That's what happens when you move to Miami.
I think the U is back. Is really what I'm trying to say.
She gonna make a move.
But
she gonna make a move.
so
to
speaking
Miami.
of speaking.
Singing.
Yo, Shannon is just doing karaoke into the mic. She's like, this mic is too legit to not sing into. No, but speaking of Buffalo, I went to Buffalo once.
Oh.
Yeah, not to like I wasn't going to Buffalo. I was crossing
Nobody
the border.
goes to Buffalo.
Yeah, I was crossing the border from Canada. I'd gone to like St. Catharines and Toronto and like Niagara, and a few other places, but we crossed over just to stay there the night so we could fly out the next day. And man, looking out my window that night, looking over the Buffalo skyline, I swear, me and my dad both looked at each other and we were like, how could anybody live here? We were like,
Depression.
we were like, this is maybe the ugliest city I've ever seen. We were like, this is crazy. We were like there's very few landmark things that I would want to look at.
Listen, there's one thing about Buffalo is it's gray, it's depressing, especially like now there. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. I mean, I moved down here over 10 years ago now, but it smells like Cheerios. It smells like Cheerios. We got the Cheerios factory in there.
Okay, I thought that was.
So it actually
smells like
does smell like Cheerios.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, Cheerios and Labatt Blue.
That's crazy.
Beer.
That's crazy.
And a little bit of a vinegar hot sauce smell.
From the wings.
Yeah, from the wings. Yeah,
Nice. I do like buffalo wings.
Yeah.
big fan
We'll
of
say
buffalo wings.
Big fan of buffalo wings. That's cool. So did you start your comedy career in Buffalo?
No.
You started once you already got here to Miami?
Yeah. So
what made you move? Just Buffalo?
Well, I left Buffalo like as soon as I could. So like I went away to college outside of New York City, and I went for marine science and environmental science. So I moved down here actually because I look like I just got off my shift at Miami Aquarium.
Yeah.
But I like turtles. We were just talking about all those old YouTube videos. I think I maybe took that one too seriously.
Yeah.
I dove
A little too far.
deep into the autism of turtles. And I moved down here for sea turtles. Legitimately. No, that's like true. And I worked in a sea turtle hospital and did a bunch of stuff like that. And
So where's your sea turtle tattoo?
I have no tattoos or
okay.
piercings because
Every sea
I'm
turtle girl I know has a
psycho.
tattoo.
That's interesting. So what about turtles is it that you love?
I just found them really interesting. Actually, what happened was a sea turtle washed up in the Long Island Sound near where I went to school, and it was a large leatherback sea turtle, which is the largest of all sea turtles. They can be 7 feet long.
Jesus.
And it washed up and it was dead, and it was kind of like, whoa, I didn't really know sea turtles were found in New York, and I didn't really know how big they could be. I only really knew what I had seen in like movies and whatever here and there. You know, social media and technology wasn't as big when we were young, so it's like I didn't know things like that. And so when I saw that, I was just like, that's cool. What are these? And how do I learn more about them? And I was taking a class called Animal Behavior, ironically enough. And so I got into sea turtle behavior and their nesting patterns. So, Nerdy.
Interesting.
Nerdy and
And so that's what
autistic.
got you down here. When did you eventually like start doing comedy? What pushed you into comedy?
Yeah, so comedy-wise, I did acting and theater and dance and like stuff like that, singing, chorus, stuff like that when I was young. But then I got out of it, like when I moved into high school, I was like, I'm too cool to like do theater geek shit, you know? So like,
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah.
I was like,
Famously.
I'm interested in boys and drinking. Like, I was like, so
You're like, I'm from Buffalo.
yeah, like we're drinking and tailgating and, you know, that's what we did. So,
I'm from Buffalo, the highest place of the opioid epidemic.
yeah.
Gotta-
Could you blame us?
Yeah.
But yeah, so then when I moved down here, like I just like I've always liked comedy. I would get like messages from the Improv, come and see the Improv.
Mhm.
I saw like Bert way back in the day. I saw Anders Schultz way back in the day. Like so I would go to these shows at the Improv all the time. And then got into podcasts and Kill Tony. And me and my husband were like, oh, this would be so cool if we ever went to Austin. Like, what if we tried this?
Mhm.
And then we started writing stuff. And a friend of mine was doing comedy and he was like, come out, like try an open mic. Like, and I did. And that was about like 3 years
And where was that?
ago. That was at the Coop, which was a spot. It was a tattoo shop in Delray Beach that they made into like a comedy open mic and show. They did shows there too,
Mhm.
but an open mic every Wednesday night. And that was the place for like a long time until Jeff Quintana.
Mhm.
Has he been on or no?
No,
Oh,
it
I
hasn't. I think since we started, he's been in New York.
Yeah, he lives in New York. now.
Because it's hard to pin him
Yeah.
down when he's down here.
Yeah, well, now he's in Chicago, but Jeff
right.
Quintana,
Oh, really?
big improv
Yeah.
prov guy. He's headlined at the Miami Improv before, I know. He's great, and he was like the host, and he would do like an improv comedy class. So we did this class where it was all improvised stand-up comedy for like comedians.
Mhm.
And that's also where I feel like I started to really like this riff style of comedy where he taught us that like it would be like he'd just throw out a topic and you had to just kind of like do whatever on it, and some of it was funny and some of it's not, obviously, to a degree, but it also breeds some of the best stuff. And some of like one of my favorite jokes that I still do all the time, I came up from that class. So it's a cool little thing, and I've kind of just started in Palm Beach and then started kind of trickling down here and connected with all the folks down in Miami, and now I just kind of run all the way through the Tri-County area.
That's awesome.
Interesting. And how long have you been doing comedy?
3 years.
Oh, interesting.
3 years. Yeah. So I think we're all like roughly around the same time frame. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But- And shout out Jeff Quintana. I mean, anytime you're in town, Jeff, hit us up.
Powerful comedy.
We're gonna be, we got you. I want to interview you. Want to get some of that stuff down.
Do mine first. Yeah.
Well, perfect segue.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, speaking of, you do also have a podcast that is super fun, super unique, ThreadCount.
Yes.
So tell us about kind of how that started and what it is.
So ThreadCount podcast is a podcast that me and my husband started because we wanted to just have fun. Like, so he started comedy with me at the same time, and then he kind of like dropped off. He like prefers doing music, and that's what he went to school for and all that. So we just were like, oh, let's just film ourselves talking shit in bed. Like, this is hilarious. Like, we talk so much shit, and like, this is hilarious. And we'll just like riff, and like, we're like best friends. We've been together almost 14 years. So it's like, we're just riff partners. And then we were like, how funny would it be if we invited people into our bed? And that's where like the idea kind of spread. And initially the whole song thing was like not what we came up with to start.
Mm-hmm.
The song was like, Ryan Panucci was our first episode, and we were like, how funny would it be if we sang a lullaby at the end? And then it became like, now that's what we do, right? So the whole like premise of the podcast is we talk all about like comedy and music and sexual stuff, and then we put people to bed, we tuck them to bed, and we sing them a little lullaby. And yeah, and the lullabies, they vary. We've done country, we've done rap, we've done ska, we've done punk, we've done like all different genres.
Second to last one?
Ska.
What's
We did one where it was
Is it a
like,
ska
did
music in it?
it, like,
Oh man.
and we mosh pit on the bed, and we were like, mosh pit, wicked shit, like, because this guy was from Boston, so it was like all like ska, punky,
Mhm.
mosh pit music, and then some we've done like really like harmonized like stuff.
Well,
Or
as far as
Nothing like Taylor Swift-esque yet.
well, Taylor Swift is many genres of music.
Right, but I was saying, but have you done anything inspired directly from her?
Not
think all your music-
necessarily.
well, the thing is, I think it's more tied to the guest. So if you
Yeah.
had a guest
Right.
who was a big Taylor Swift fan, you'd
Right.
probably do a more
That makes
Swifties type song.
Exactly. So we try to like base it on the guests. So
Yeah.
like we had Joe Bartnick, who was Lisa Lampanelli's opener,
Cool.
and he's in Old Dads on Netflix. He was in Bill Burr's Friends Who Kill on Netflix. He's
That's the
one
one
of
that
Bill's
Bill Burr
openers.
actually.
Liked. Bill Burr liked our clip. Yeah, that was cool. But the song we did for him that was like all like dad rock.
Nice.
So, or like we just had like, I don't know if you guys know John Sorrell. He's like
Mm.
very Theo Vaughn like. So we did like a country song for him.
One of my favorite was the Tom and Tom episode
Oh, at the Toms.
where you had both of them in the bed. So shout out Tom Chamberlain and Thomas Lamountain. That was such a
Hilarious.
good.
The tomboys. Just a couple of tomboys.
And for
That
some
was-
reason,
that
I don't
was
know
so-
why, but it seemed like your husband on that episode had like the most fun I've seen him. I don't know why. Like he just seemed to be like in it, like locked in. He was having so much fun on that episode.
Oh yeah, that was a good episode. That was a good episode. Yeah, the Toms. And then funny enough, like it ended up being that like they were supposed to do a show, or they were trying to do a show up in Palm Beach, and that's why they wanted to both be on it at the same time, because we don't usually do two guests at the same
Right.
time. It's a king size bed. There's only so much room. I got
Lots
to
of
be.
activities, so.
Yeah, I got to be really close to Thomas LaMountain. So I was like, Joey, are you gonna let me next to Thomas LaMountain? Like, hey, he didn't stop me.
So crazy coincidence. You don't know this, but so Sabi and I actually, when we were going to start our podcast, we were going to do the same thing. We were going to just lie in bed together
Mhm.
and
That's true.
and then we're like, wait, I guess we should film this, but you know,
And
whatever.
then Shannon took the idea.
Yeah, we're like, wait.
we were like, did you see Shannon
Yeah.
doing the bad idea?
Like, dude, like they're married. How crazy is that?
And then we were like, I guess we can let them have it, and we'll just go to the community newspaper.
Yeah, we just-
You should post that podcast on OnlyFans.
See that? We would, but I would never step on your toes like that. Shit.
yeah. Plus, we didn't film the first 10 months, so it's just
Yeah, that's true. That's
Nobody would know the backstory
no.
of all your deep
At this
like,
point,
connections.
at this point in the, it's all inside jokes.
Yeah.
Like there was,
I love that.
they wouldn't get it. They
Yeah.
wouldn't get it.
Yeah. So
But Shannon, in terms of like your stand up and kind of, you know, you're producing shows all the time, producing really, really good shows all across like South Florida, which is really impressive because I feel like for someone who's 3 years in, I think a lot of people have the intentions of producing good shows, and then in the execution, they don't necessarily come to that fruition. So for someone who's like been doing this for kind of the shorter period of time than most of the established producers down here in South Florida, what's your what's your advice, or kind of like what do you look for when you're creating a new room? These are the factors that I look for in terms of like I think this could work.
yeah. So typically when I'm like looking for a venue, I would love to find a space that might be separate or maybe not used very often on, say, like a weeknight, like a Thursday night
Mhm.
or whatever it may be. I luckily have like great sound equipment, so I'm able to like pretty much plug in and play at most venues as long as I feel like the space is conducive to comedy.
Mm.
So I want it either to be kind of dinner style table, cocktail style tables, or I'd like it to be kind of like don't tell comedy style with like just chairs in a room. I have a room like that up in Boca that has been great. Or something
That's
like
the
that. And then-
monks.
yeah, Barrel of Monks is up in Boca. It's like a 50 to 60 seater, folding chair style, like upstairs room, kind of
Mhm.
like out of the kind of like a don't tell style vibe to
Yeah.
it. And that one is great. And so like that's been a great venue, but really just looking for venues that are like willing to like commit to comedy. I have a venue I've been working with for 2 years, Prosperity. You just did that
Yeah.
room. I've done that room for 2 years. He takes all my like side ideas that I'm willing to like run there. He's like down to experiment there whenever I want. I did a dating show there. I've done some Taylor Swift events there. So like that's a great venue. So a great partnership really relies on like having a good communication with the venue, and a good space for comedy is like the other big piece that you look for. So, and then building ads. That's like, honestly, like a lot of like what I'd like claim my success for producing to is like to the ads that I make and run and putting in the effort also with guerrilla marketing. I blast Facebook groups. I message people direct. I try to get like local pages to share my stuff, whatever I can do to get my flyer in front of as many faces as possible is the goal. And then once those people come, give them the best show so that they come back.
Yeah. Well, and I'll shout that out. You're one of the people that definitely keeps, the comedy calendar up to date on what you're doing, and you're always sending us flyers. You're always, keep it in the forefront of my mind, so it makes it that much easier for me to share with what you're doing. I don't have to go deep into my messages and remember. No, it's right there. You've sent me the message, the good looking flyers. They're right there when I need them on Sundays, basically. So shout out. I know I see the work you do on my end, but I also see it, like you said, you're getting a Riff Roulette show already at the Improv. You're working with some of the best talent, Eric Graff, Casey Graves. It shows the testament of all your work. One of the questions I had is, which I like to ask, is why is South Florida the best place for comedy right now?
I think that South Florida gives us the opportunity to get on stage and to advance so quickly, right? So like 3 years in another market could be a lot harder of a climb than maybe we've all had the opportunity like here, where, you guys have been up on the stages at the Improv and only a few years in, and, I'm going to be producing at the Improv. Those opportunities aren't given to you in those big markets. Those are hard to get. And so I think that, like, number one is we get stage time and we get opportunity. And like, that's what like contributes to your growth. And I think that like the South Florida comedy scene is the place to start before you move on to those bigger markets, so that you tune your stuff up here so that when you get there, it's like, you just shoot off. And a lot of the people that have started here have been able to shoot off, and they're regulars at the mothership, or they're performing at the Comedy Cellar, or they open up for huge people regularly. So it's a great launching point, I think.
I like that you said that, because one of the things I say all the time is, like, when I go to travel and do comedy elsewhere and I come back and I feel good about how I performed, I'm like, guys, what we're doing here translates. Like, the work we're doing here is good work. When we get somewhere else with it, it shows the value, I like the way you said. That's very good. Thank you so much for that. The other question we have, we talked a little bit about the past, where you kind of came from, some of the stuff in the present time that you are, working on and producing, but kind of the rest of 2025, what are your thoughts? I mean, what are you planning on doing? You have any either big shows that you kind of didn't mention yet, or any other big launches or pushes that you're looking at?
So I've got my Barrel of Monks show. That's one Saturday a month. That's every month. We've got Plantation. That's once a month. I've got my Prosperity Brewers. That's also once a month. Me and Ryan Panucci, we put together that Barrel and that Plantation show. And we're also doing a fun spelling buzz show, where it's kind of like a comedy roast spelling bee drinking game show. I've been helping him out with that at Revelry, which is in Pompano. And we're bringing it up to Prosperity Brewers, which is going to be fun. So that's growing. I also got another new room up in Del Rey.
Definitely send me the next time you guys do that one. Send me a flyer of that one. That sounds like very interesting. Drinking spelling bee comedy show. That
roast.
Definitely we'll shout it out. Or you know what? After you guys do it, if you guys got a recap video or anything, send it so we can do like we'll play it here so that everybody can see what it was.
Yeah. I'll have to send you something, because that's going to be cool. We're taking that off. And Riff spreading too. Riff spreading hopefully to the north. We've got plans to bring that to West Palm Beach, and in combination with Lando Gonzalez and Andruella to their bodega room. So looking to kind of grow that and get the foot off the ground for that show as well. So just growing more shows. I got that show in Honey I just mentioned. That's a new one in Del Rey that's going to be kicking off in April. So just trying to get more rooms, trying to get more opportunities. We don't have a lot of weekly shows like Miami does. We have more like monthly shows or like the Don't Tell shows or the Sad Man Comedy Cafe. But outside of like those few things, there aren't a lot of like small scale shows for people to do. And so just trying to grow that up there, giving more opportunities to myself, right? Ellie talked about this. Like if you're not getting some of the opportunities you want, build your own. And that's what really like drove me to create the shows I've done. I'm like, I want the opportunities to perform on these good shows and like bring a quality audience in.
Well, I love that you said that because one, it shows that you listen to the show, which is amazing. Thank you so much for that. But also, you're right. Like you said it, Ellie said it, and it's one of those things that I kind of knew, but hearing all of you guys that are actually producing some of the best shows say it is reinforcement to be like, hey, you got to sometimes create those spaces. You know, I have some ideas in my head of shows that I'd like to see that aren't happening, and instead of waiting around for someone else to do it, it's something that I'm really trying to work towards and be able to create some of those shows, you know, that and be able to say, hey guys, this is what I was talking about when I said this, you know.
Yeah, if you want an opportunity, make it, and whether it's once a month too. I think that like the big standard down here is it's like weekly, and that's like good for consistency and everything. But sometimes it's easier to like get a show once a month and build that and make that show like the best possible. You're putting all your energy into that and then grow from there. My Prosperity Brewers is like going to be 2 years old. Yeah. So,
and I know it's a hike for you every time you come down here to perform. I think this Saturday you'll be down here at the Spotlight Theater.
Spotlight, yeah. So actually, I'm going to be down here a lot. Tuesday, I'm doing Soho House with Brittany Brave and a bunch of the ladies. Cool. She's going to be around. Wednesday, I'm doing Biscayne Brew. That's Lita's room. Thursday, I'm at Taurus.
I'll see you there.
I'm at Taurus. And then Friday's Plantation, and Saturday is Spotlight. Yeah, before I'm back for Miami Improv, we're going to be riffing.
Heck yeah.
I'm really excited for that one. So to see that like go from a room that seats 50 to a room that seats almost 400, we're going to blow the roof off. We're going to turn this place up. So get your tickets. Get your tickets.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Shannon, so much for coming on the show and sharing a little bit of that wisdom that you got from all your time, not just producing shows, but kind of performing down here in South Florida and in the northern parts of South Florida, which we don't usually get that perspective down here. Most of the people that we've interviewed are still like Miami-based, more South-based comics. So having you on has really been a treat for real. Is there anything else you want to shout out? Anything else you want to talk about before you head out?
Just follow my podcast, ThreadCount podcast. Check that out. Maybe have one of these boys on soon. Together, another Together episode. We'll get you guys a theme song for your show here. So ThreadCount podcast, Shannon Says Shit, a bunch of different shows coming up, and Captivated Comedy Co. and Riff Roulette Comedy. So that's all the plugs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get out, Art?
No, just wanted to say, thank you, Shannon, for coming out, man. Like you said, you've been putting out some of the best shows. You're working with some of the best people. Keep pushing. We definitely need more people like you. And if you want, I do have a little bit of rhino horn dust that I can give to you if you want to.
Very Miami.
Your husband, so.
I would love that. I don't know what you would call that. I know that they do bucked up. So I'm like, I don't know what you would call rhino horned up. Oh, horned up.
Horned up.
Hey, what are you doing?
Joey, I'm coming home.
Are you coming in my bed? Horned up.
You have to bring that tape now whenever you do the interview.
Will do.
There you go.
The only problem is this. So it's a CD.
Yeah.
I don't have a CD player. I had to stream it illegally online to be actually able to listen to it, but it's okay.
It's okay. It's all right. You can burn it on a floppy disk or something later, bro.
I took a picture with my phone. I'm like, what do I do with this?
Don't talk about
you
my
like Google, tell me. All right, guys. That has been this week's edition of the South Florida Comedy Calendar. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And as we say every single week, until next week, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and keep laughing.